My name is David Lindsey Jr., and I'm a candidate for school committee at large here in Everett. I'm running because I care about the children, family, and communities. I've worked 20 years tirelessly working in various capacities as an educator, nonprofit leader, and change agent around the country. I've worked in the classroom teaching mathematics and entrepreneurship, and I've led multiple programs around the country on large scales nationally, regionally, and locally. I've also done a lot of things to ensure that children, families, and communities have the tools that are necessary that lead to success. On November 5th, I'm asking that you vote for me because I'm a person who has the experience. I'm a person who's actually running because I care. And I think that we should build on the things that worked in the past, but also help change those things with new voices and fresh ideas that lead to future success. Please vote for me on November 5th. Your candidate, David Lindsey Jr. Thank you, and have a blessed day.
Hello to the citizens of Everett. I am Millie Jay Cardella. I am currently on the school committee at large, and I am running for election for the school committee at large this November 5th. I'm here to tell you a little bit about me. A lot of people know me, some of you don't, so I'm reaching out to all of you as a reminder of who I am, what I've done, and where I want to be. Many years ago in the 90s, and that sounds like a long time ago to some people, but in 1994, I started my first venture into city politics, and that was on the school committee. I served 3 terms, which is 6 years on the school committee, and then I took a bid for the council seat. At the time, we had a bicameral legislation, and it was called the Common Council. After 6 years of serving on the Common Council, I moved up to the Board of Aldermen. Served on the Board of Aldermen for 4 years. I enjoyed my tenure all that time, been out of politics for a while, and through an unfortunate and bittersweet happening, I got back onto the school committee. We lost a couple of members that were currently serving on the school committee, and the second one was Richard Banowitz, who was school committee at large, and I was fortunate enough to be elected by my colleagues, the colleagues on both the council and the school committee, to fill Richard's seat. I'm currently serving as Millie Jay Cardella, school committee at large, voted citywide, and I would like to be reelected to that seat. I was put there for a purpose. The whole happening was so surreal to me, and now that I'm there, I'm starting to realize why I'm there. I love serving the people in the city of Everett. I love looking into things. I like dealing with budgets. I love working with children. I like solving problems. That's what I do. I'm here to help people. I post my number and my email addresses, both my personal one and my school committee one, to everybody, because I want people to reach out to me with their comments, their concerns, their suggestions, their problems. I'm here to help, whether it's something to do with the city and I can direct you to the right place to go, or something to do with the schools and I can help you. I never promise that I will give you the answer that you want, but I can promise that I will help you in any way I can and try in any way I can to get you what you deserve and what your children deserve. I live here in the city of Everett. I was born at the Whidden Hospital many years ago. I graduated from Everett High. I shop here. I pay taxes here. My son is raising his son here. We love the city, and we care about it. Care enough about it to be here for you. I have been here for you since 1994. I want to stay here and be your representative, be your voice on the school committee. Please, I ask you in return for what I have done for you, please show up to vote on November 5th. That is the general election day. My name is listed as Millie Jay Cardella. It's the 4th name on the ballot under the school committee at large. I say thank you, God bless you, God bless the city of Everett, and God bless America.
Hello, my name is Samantha Lambert, candidate for Everett School Committee at Large this November 5th. My experience as a parent and more specifically, navigating the special education system on behalf of one of my children gives me experience much needed at the table where decisions are being made. I'm a mom to 4 Everett Public School students, 2 that have graduated and 2 currently in elementary school. I've been a volunteer farm manager at the Northern Strand Community Farm and Everett Community Growers for 3 years. I'm the chairwoman for the Everett Public Library Board of Trustees, a member of the Everett Education Coalition, as well as an advisory board member for Everett High School's Career and Technical Education Business and Hospitality Academy. Families are our best partner for Everett Public Schools and to the success of our students, and I will commit to the following: open and transparent communication, advocating for a district-wide communication policy that is accessible to parents. Communication should be consistent no matter where your child attends school or what language is spoken at home. As your representative on the school committee, I will also support a public comment period for all open school committee meetings. And as a mom with students in our schools, I understand policies can have unintended consequences, and my experience is not universal. I will be asking for your input on important upcoming votes and sharing agenda items so that you could share your feedback. We are a community quickly changing just as the world is. Our school-age children are the first generation born immersed in a digital world, which means we're the first generation of parents, guardians, and teachers that are charged with helping them navigate that world. Our children no longer have to seek information. They're bombarded with it at every turn. I will advocate through the budget process to ensure that we have librarians and curriculum in place in our elementary schools to help them navigate that world. There is potential in every one of our students. We have amazing young people in our city, and no one can tell me that they are not our greatest resource. I have met students that have overcome odds I find formidable as an adult, but we still have work to do. Through our career and technical education academies, we have an incredible opportunity to create a practical and engaging pathway to education, to secondary school, and careers. I would challenge we have to do more and reach out to our younger students in the middle school grades and expand our restorative justice curriculum and develop creative ways to engage them well before they enter the high school doors. Equity, accessibility, and guidance for every student. We'll make sure that our students are able to use the skills that they have developed to fulfill their highest potential. On November 5th, we have the opportunity to build on the many, many successes of Everett Public Schools and work to maximize our resources for all of our students, families, and community. Deciding to run was not easy, and it is not a commitment I take lightly. I am so grateful for my husband and my family's support. But one of the most important lessons I've worked to teach my children is advocacy, to respectfully and thoughtfully ask for what is needed. When I stepped back and thought about that, I realized I had the opportunity to do that on a much larger scale. I've been a vocal advocate on many fronts within the city, but the truth is it's easy on the outside to see the opportunities and voice your concerns. It's not so easy when you're at the table and doing the work. So I invite you to come with us. I will always welcome, I will always respect your feedback. I will always welcome you to do the work with us and work together to make sure that our future is as wonderful as the long and proud history of Everett Public Schools. This November 5th, I ask that you please consider voting for me, Samantha Lambert, candidate for Everett School Committee at Large. Thank you.
Hello, and thank you for allowing me this time to tell you a little bit about myself. I'm Cynthia Sahni. I'm running for School Committee at Large, which is voted citywide. On November 5th, I'm asking for one of your 3 votes. I have been listening to people saying we need change. We have a great school system, great teachers, administrative staff that brings Everett schools where they are today. I would like to continue moving this forward. Let me tell you a little history about myself. My parents died when I was very young. My father, who died when I was 3 months old, left my mother with 4 children to raise. My mother died with cancer. At the age of 16, I was still in high school. The Everett school system, including teachers, administrative, counselors, and staff, guided me when I was a teenager. I was very fortunate to have these mentors and family support during my high school years. They have shaped me who I am today. There's one thing my mother has taught me. She always taught me to try to do my hardest, be honest, have a good heart, and forgive one another. Life is too short. With the everyday struggles, she has taught me to be a strong, independent woman that I am today. I have 2 daughters, Katrina and Samantha, who both graduated from the Everett public school system. I am employed at Century Bank and Trust as an accounting supervisor. I'm a former member of the Kiwanis and a former member of the Chamber of Commerce. I have dedicated my whole adult life to improve the city of Everett. I have served on the City Council for over 10 years. I have served on many committees that focus on issues that are important to me and for the city. I'm a strong believer of the after-school program for our children to keep them safe and help them grow. I'm a firm supporter also of the senior program and hope to continue to keep these programs in place. I would like to continue to improve our schools, such as looking into more vocational programs for our children. I also like to work on the budget, where I have finance and accounting behind me. We have a lot of new changes in the upcoming year with the school department, and I'd love to be your next school committee member to try to make these changes. On November 5th, please take your time and consider me, Cynthia Sahni, the last name on the ballot. Thank you.
Hello, friends and family of Everett. I am Edgar Benjamin Ruiz, and I am running to be a member of the school committee representing Ward 1. I humbly seek your support in my candidacy because I wish to continue to serve the community that has provided me so much. A community that has given me my home on Lewis Street, my education, where I graduated from the old high school in 2002, and also introduced me to my high school sweetheart, who is now my wife, and my closest friends, who became my groomsmen. This community has provided me the opportunity to teach and coach its students, having been a social studies teacher at the high school, as well as a coach for its soccer team. It is here that I built valuable connections with students and their families, and where I witnessed the sacrifices these families made so their children could achieve their educational and career goals. It is this insight that gave me the inspiration to run, so I could help institute and safeguard the future these students have worked so hard to attain. Therefore, my goals for the schools are simple, yet visionary. First, to build a partnership between the city's businesses and its schools. Doing so will provide students the hands-on knowledge they will need in their career path. Second, strengthen the community bond of students by increasing community events that focus on multiculturalism, develop intramural sports programs across the district, and implement school-wide mentorship programs so students and teachers can support each other in their educational goals. And finally, emphasize the accountability and transparency of the school's elected leaders to its community, where we remain civil servants to the community and our decisions are discussed and debated by teachers, students, and their families, so they can voice their opinions and be effective participants of their own futures. So please lend me your support this November 5th and provide me the opportunity to continue serving the community I love so much and that has given me so much. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Thomas P Massey Jr. I'm running for Ward 2 School Committee. My wife and I have 2 beautiful children. I am currently a Region 4B Medical Reserve Corps volunteer, as well as notary to the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. I'm also a former Everett business owner, as well as a former member of the Parent Advisory Board of the Lafayette School. For starters, plain and simple, Everett schools are for Everett residents only. Any students attending Everett schools but does not live in the city are taken away from the students that does live in the city. It creates overcrowding in classrooms and takes away resources for families that are in need of programs and services. Other issues I've been experiencing is families are upset and stressed out about IEPs, which is an individual education plan. With these educational plans that are made for students that are in need, we need to have better testing and placement, as well as a better breakdown and support for families to better understand the plan that their children are going to be going under and how their child will get proper help and support. We need to work hard on student-teacher ratio so our children can get the best education that they deserve. The high school, as great as it is, we need more options for our students, such as bringing in more vocational programs and services. We need to keep fighting for the proper funding to assure that our schools, programs, students, and teachers get the very best supplies and resources needed to create a great environment and learning experience for our students. Fundraisers within the schools should also be more affordable for families to participate in, as well as have better kickbacks for our schools. There are some safety issues that need to be addressed as well, such as reduced speeding in our school zones by creating speed bumps and possible speed traps to ensure the safety of our children. As well as the school buses and vans should be able to utilize the MBTA bus lanes for safer drop-offs, pickups, and to create less traffic congestion within the city. Everett schools are Everett's pride. It's time to put pride back in Everett schools. Thank you for your consideration in electing me as your next Ward 2 school committee member, as I will represent your voice and demand for change. Finally, I just want to thank you so much for your time and support. Thank you.
Thank you, ECTV, for allowing me the opportunity to present my candidacy. My name is Frank Parker. I'm a current member of the Everett School Committee, serving Ward 3 in the entire city as your representative for Ward 3 on the Everett Public School Committee. I'm an active vocal member. I've served on every committee throughout my tenure, and in 2015 and 2016, my peers elected me chairman. Currently, I serve on the Mayor's School Finance Task Review Commission, the Finance Committee, which just returned $3.1 million back to the free cash account here at the city. It was a surplus. And I also serve on the Superintendent Search Committee, where I've made it my personal objective to make sure that we have an open, transparent, and accessible process, allowing the stakeholders to provide their voice in what they want in the next superintendent. I'm active in the Mass Association of School Committees, whether it's legislative affairs or participating in trainings on subjects such as poverty and safe schools. And I'm also committed to bringing public speak to the school committee regular meetings because you asked for it. I've consistently demonstrated that I'm an advocate and supporter for school safety and security, smaller class sizes, affordable preschool, special education, arts, music, STEM, athletics, career technical education, tighter fiscal controls, and equitable school financing. I'm proud of these accomplishments for the students and parents of Everett. They deserve nothing less. And I've built my record on cooperation and collaboration with people like Senator Sal DiDomenico, Representative McGonigal, Mayor Carl DeMaria, and the entire City Council. And I've also done it through treating staff with respect and kindness to consistently move our programs forward. These accomplishments and relationships can't be made overnight, nor can they be acquired through negative and dishonest campaigning, such as we're witnessing from my opponent. He's spending thousands of dollars to discredit me and mislead you. Let me explain. For he's actually stolen the identity of a previous candidate for school committee in 1981. In 1981, Walter Cardella ran against the incumbent Arthur Cavelli. Walter dubbed Mr. Cavelli as Mr. Past, the same as my opponent has done to me. Mr. Cardella dubbed himself Mr. Future. And as you can see, the ads that are being run by my opponent are word for word 2019 versus 1981, such as this one where he rips off the headline of "Some jobs require more than good intentions." The same thing was presented through this ad in 1981. And I apologize for the quality. If you want copies, contact me. This one's even better because it goes in even deeper word for word, such as this statement here from 2019. Of course, Mr. Pass might say that you don't need to know anything about education to serve on the school committee, and perhaps in his day was true. Why, in 1981, Mr. Cardella wrote, Of course, Mr. Pass might say you don't need to know anything about education to serve on the school committee, and perhaps in his day was true. Word for word, 38 years later. And then in this statement, which I'll never forget, from 1981, which is also the same in both pieces, asking Mr. Pass to deal with the modern school department is like asking a bus driver to operate a jet plane. And I'll never forget that line because Mr. Cavelli was a bus driver and it was a direct shot against him. In today's era, which I'm sorry I don't have a copy, my opponent calls me a barnacle. Barnacle, Mr. Santa Croce? If anyone's a barnacle, it's you, as in Mike Barnacle, because you're both plagiarists. Plagiarism is not acceptable at the Boston Globe, nor is acceptable in the Everett Public Schools. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to focus my skills on the next 2 years to move the program forward. I have the experience, the energy, and the passion to tackle all the issues in hand. And with your help on Election Day, with your vote, it'd be an honor and privilege to serve for 2 more years. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Robert Santos, candidate for School Committee Ward 3, voted citywide. As a lifelong Everett resident, I understand the importance of what a strong school district can have on a gateway city. All students should have the opportunity to receive a top quality education, and it is my goal to ensure that this opportunity will continue within our city. I am proud to stand up for things that matter to Everett families who trust that the school system will provide a quality education for their children at all levels of learning. I will ensure that our children on individual education plans receive the appropriate resources available for them to succeed. As a former school employee, my job was eliminated due to budget cuts caused by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts reducing the education budget. I will fight beside Senator Sal DiDomenico to ensure Everett receives their appropriate share of funding so teachers and other educational resources will not be eliminated. A modern school system allows for students to be competitive in the world. As a school committee member, I will review our curriculum, technology, and other resources to ensure that the Everett Public Schools are keeping up with the changes in education. Lastly, I will listen to parents. New ideas bring about creative learning, and creative learning brings about growth to students. Teachers, parents, and students all need a voice on the school committee. I will be that voice. I believe in our city. I believe in our children. Let's work together to make our schools and our city a better place to live. On Tuesday, November 5th, please remember me, Robert Santos, for School Committee Ward 3. Thank you.
Providing educational programs to our students today is a complex issue. My name is David M. Ela Jr., and I am announcing my candidacy for re-election to the Everett School Committee representing Ward 4. In my years as an elected member of the school committee, I've seen various changes which have allowed our students the opportunity to succeed when they leave the Everett Public Schools. My goal is to continue working for Everett students to assure adequate school funding, to continue to advocate for our students receiving special education services, and to support legislative changes to improve educational programs. My wife Nancy and I live at 19 Henry Street, and we believe that providing children with a quality education is important. All 3 of our children graduated from the Everett Public Schools, and they also graduated from college, 2 of them from Boston University and 1 from the College of the Holy Cross. I graduated from Boston University with a Bachelor of Science degree in Physical Therapy, and I also have a Master of Arts degree in Healthcare Administration from Framingham State University. I'm employed by Winchester Hospital as a supervisor of inpatient rehabilitation services, and my wife Nancy is a registered nurse at Cambridge Health Alliance Everett Hospital. 2 of our 4 grandchildren recently began their educational journey. As a member of the school committee, I serve on the following subcommittees: Finance, Contract Negotiations, Legal, and Cafeteria. This year I was elected by my colleagues to be Vice Chairman of the school committee. I'm one of the 2 school committee representatives on the Everett School Finance Review Commission, and since 2007 I've been Everett's appointed
representative to Shore Educational Collaborative, and I have served as that organization's chairman of the board for the last 7 years. In 2004 and 2005, I served as the school committee chairman. Since 2002, I have served as Everett's voting delegate to the Mass Association of School Committees, and I was honored to receive the All-State School Committee Award in 2007. Funding for education in Massachusetts is at a crossroads. The foundation formula budget is undergoing legislative changes as we speak and focused on amending the formula to improve funding for economically disadvantaged students, special education services, and employee health insurance. The State Senate recently passed the Student Opportunity Bill, which addresses these comprehensive changes to the foundation budget formula, with a plan for some of the changes to begin as soon as next year. I would like to thank Senator DiDomenico for his perseverance in support of this bill. This bill requires further approval by the State House of Representatives and Governor Baker, and I plan on working with our state representative, Mr. McGonigal, to support this bill to see that it goes through. Special education services funding, both in and out of district, is based on the number of students enrolled in kindergarten through grade 12. Providing services to these students can sometimes have a detrimental effect to other programs throughout the district due to the amount of needed funding. We need to continue our preschool program for 3- and 4-year-old children. Focus on literacy while providing those therapeutic services that these students may need. We also need to continue providing social and emotional learning programs to provide a safe environment for our students so they can learn and then succeed. As a member of the School Finance Commission, my colleague Frank Parker and I have been able to express our ideas about the school department budget with Mayor DiMaria, members of his administrative team, members of the City Council, and other school department administrators. We understand that municipal revenue changes affect future budgets and how those resources will be allocated. My knowledge and understanding of the foundation budget formula will be an asset in developing future budgets. The Everett School Committee has a goal to have a new superintendent of schools hired by the end of this calendar year. I want to be able to work with this new superintendent of schools to explore innovative changes to enhance our current programs and also new opportunities for our students. I ask you for your continued consideration and support on Election Day, Tuesday, November 5th, 2019, and please consider me, David M. Ela Jr., for School Committee Ward 4. If you have any questions or would like to assist me, please call me at 617-921-0456 or at davidela jr@msn.com. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Marconi Almeida Barros, candidate for School Committee Ward 5, which is voted citywide. About a year and a half ago, I was unanimously appointed by city government to fill the seat left vacant by the death of Robert Carrero, a distinguished public servant who is greatly missed by our community. Throughout my brief time on the school committee, I've been an active voice for parents and students while concentrating on the future of our school system. First, I work for the Attorney General, where I am the Director of Community Engagement. In this new division, created by Maura Healy, I am responsible for outreach and educating communities on how the AG's office can work for them, from protecting senior citizens against scams to combating school bullying and opioids. I'm also an educator. I've taught at Northeastern University as an adjunct professor, which has given me an appreciation and compassion for students at all learning levels. And previously, I was also acting director of a state agency where I handle millions of dollars in grants to fund citizenship classes and English language programs, among other responsibilities. On the school committee, I've been a vigorous advocate for our schools and students, bringing my professional background and experiences to accomplish several important goals. Upon hearing the need from parents and school administrators, I helped secure a $5,000 donation from the Cambridge Health Alliance Foundation to buy laptop computers at the Davis School, so students could practice for the MCAS test, which is now taken online. I also fought for and won a $30,000 grant from the Mass Housing Shelter Alliance to help Everett students whose families are in crisis, to cover emergency expenses for temporary food and housing. This program has already helped improve graduation rates and lower truancy. This October, I was able to get another $25,000 and in a second term, I will fight hard to expand this program. I also helped sponsor a mentoring program led by 2 former Everett High graduates who plan to match other graduates with students to help them navigate life after high school. A pilot program will start this school year. And throughout this past term, I've been committed to being accessible and present at many school events and community forums. I've even started office hours so parents can bring their concerns directly to me as well as learn what the role of a school committee member is. I'm also honored to serve on the search committee for the new superintendent, where I've helped lead the charge for an open and community-led process. Recently, someone asked me what makes me the proudest to serve on the school committee. In closing, I will end with a story I shared at my swearing-in. When I had previously served as a judge for the science fair at the Parlin School, I was blown away by the math and science superstars. I saw students from many backgrounds and cultures working together on projects that looked like they were made by NASA, filling me with hope and optimism about our future and pride in our community. So, it would make me proudest to know that one of these young students, maybe someone born in another country or whose parents made incredible sacrifices to come to Everett, would also feel inspired to serve and give back to this community when they were older. To learn, they were able to identify with me and my story. Because in many ways, my story is your story, and our story is the Everett story. And while some of us have lived here for generations and others are more recently arrived, we know that our bright future will be written together. And there is no greater place, no more trusted, valuable institution to help shape our future than the Everett Public Schools. And that's why I would be honored to have your support to serve on the school committee Ward 5, voted citywide. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Tom Abbruzzese, and I'm currently the chairman of the Everett School Committee. I'm seeking re-election to the school committee from Ward 6. I've lived in Everett my entire life, and I was educated in the Everett Public Schools. I currently reside at 18 Pierce Avenue with my wife of 40 years, Camille, and we raised 3 sons together. All 3 of my sons graduated from Everett High School, and as a matter of fact, right now, I have a grandchild who is attending the Adams Preschool. I've always believed in public service, and this is evidenced by the fact that I am finishing up my 32nd year with the Commonwealth of Mass Department of Correction as their counsel. In Everett, I've been a past president and coach of both the Everett Little League and the Everett Pop Warner organizations. I have served on the Everett school committees for the past approximately 20 years. During this time, we've had many different changes, including the building of 3 K-8 schools, the Lafayette, the Madeline English, and the Cavarian, and also the building and construction of the new high school. As chairman, which I was elected to this year, I was personally responsible for choosing a 15-member search committee to help choose the next superintendent of schools. At this time, we're about to interview the final 10 candidates to be our new superintendent. This is an exciting time in Everett and the Everett Public Schools. I hope you will support me as we help our children and grandchildren achieve all of their educational and personal goals. At this time, I'd like to thank ECTV for this opportunity, and I'd like to thank all of the people from Everett for their constant support. Thank you.
Hello, folks. My name is John Mavilio, and I'm a candidate for school committee from Ward 6 here in Everett, and I'm voted citywide November 5th, 2019. I've been living in Everett for 66 years,
and I went through the Everett school systems and college and whatnot. And what I wanted to do is just touch on basically why I'm running, okay? I have my agenda for Everett is threefold. I would like to just make the school budget a little bit more transparent and a little bit more accountable so that the folks here could understand what we're spending our money on. I would also like to have the faculty of each school actually police their own people because of the problems we had in the past, which I won't get into right now, but I think that's very important. I would also like a better course diversification for all the students. And I want it to be stressed on techno and environmental engineering. If they can get on that for a while and maybe change some of the course curriculum so that there'll be more engineers coming out of Everett. We had quite a few in the past, and we definitely need more, and the medical students also. I also would like an increase in the internal safety and security of the schools, so to keep the students and the faculty safer, and so we won't have any interruption in school policy or student activities. I have some other very important agenda topics, which I am not going to get into right now, but I'm really hoping that the people in Everett will elect me. This is my second time I was running, and I was back in 2007. I ran. I almost won, and unfortunately, it was a bad night. We had a bad turnout, but that's neither here nor there now. I'm back. I'm here to stay, and I need your support so I can do what I have to do, what has to be done for the students, the teachers, and for the parents. John Mavilio, make sure you vote for me November the 5th. Thank you.